Oh.
Good morning, everybody.
This is good.
Wake up in Provincetown. This week featuring Wake up. Can I have some coffee? Wake up. Make it strong, please. Hey. No. Hey. Wake up.
Did you see that?
No, really, can I have some coffee? Wake up.
Oh my god. Sounds the sun,
Wake up.
Good morning, everyone.
It's Friday, February 26th, 2021. It's the last Friday of February. The next time we do the show, it's going to be March.
I love that. Winter does seem to be flying by, though.
It really is flying
Yeah.
by this year.
Time flies when you're laying on your couch, right? Is that the phrase? Is that it?
Close. It's close to that. But also, you know, in 2 weeks, it's everyone's favorite day of the year.
Oh my God, I'm so excited. I'm so excited for this because I hate the sun going down so early.
Yeah.
Yeah, in 2 weeks the clock goes forward an hour, so we get an extra hour of daylight at the end of the day.
Right.
And an extra hour of darkness when I'm not awake.
So instead of laying on your sofa till 2 p.m., you'll do it till 3 p.m.
Yeah, exactly. Just gotta like move the whole.
It's going to change everything for
Yeah,
you.
it's gonna be so different.
I can't wait. No, that means there's only 1 month left of clamming as well, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It ends at
Ends at the end of March. Last year they extended it because they were like, everyone's depressed, it's a pandemic, let's give them another month of this.
Right, and there's also like there's no restaurants that are going to be opening. There's
Right.
stuff.
We were
But-
forced to fend for ourselves in the wild.
But this year, even though like COVID restrictions are still in place, restaurants are going to be opening kind of around their normal time. I think things will start opening up again at the end of April. And with most things open for May, like usual.
You guys, thank you for joining us today. We have a great show for you. We finally have Thirsty Burlington on this show. After a couple of false starts, really there was just the one time that Thirsty wasn't able to make it, and then we turned it into like a running gag.
Yeah.
Where we were like, Thirsty's coming, oh no, she got hit by lightning. Thirsty's coming, oh no, she got a bad haircut. But she's really here today.
Yeah. Yeah.
With Mark Meehan.
Yeah. She's doing a couple really incredible performances. Yeah.
This is one of the shows this summer that I'm most excited about.
Yeah.
Thirsty and Mark, I think.
The interview is pre-taped just because we did, there was a lot of setup involved, so we did it at 3 a.m. this morning.
But pretty soon that'll be 4 a.m.
Right. How was your week? What did you get up to?
Oh my God, my week was so good and productive. First of all, on Wednesday, I embarked on a brand new relationship with a dentist in Orleans.
Oh, that's fun.
I know. When's the last time you had a new dentist?
This past spring.
Really? When was the last time you had a dentist before that?
What do you mean?
Like, had it been years before you'd seen a dentist?
I mean, a couple, because I moved to P-Town and then it's just like I'm a mess, so it took a year or two.
Right, but like while I was laying there with my mouth wide open, staring up at the ceiling on a chair that was, I would say it was like Emirates business class.
Ooh,
it was like a really,
fancy.
like it went flat and it was super cushy. The music was really nice. I was laying there thinking, more people have seen the inside of my butthole than the inside of my mouth.
Wow.
Like I've had more boyfriends than dentists. Just to put that into perspective for you. Don't you think?
Yeah, that's probably true.
Is that true of you too?
Yeah.
Especially if you go a couple of years without having a new dentist. Like I honestly, I'm worse than you. I hadn't been to a dentist since 2015.
Oh, wow.
I know. So like I was not in great shape, but they're like poking around and he was like, you clean your teeth remarkably
He's like, you're
well.
kind of fine.
He was like, we tell people to come twice a year. You should, even if you went to the dentist once every 3 years, you'd be fine. I was like, well, I came once every 7.
Perfect.
So not as fine. But like for somebody that hadn't been in so long, they were amazed.
Oh, that's great.
I do floss twice a day and brush twice a day.
You really floss twice a day.
Yeah. You have to take care of your teeth if you're not going to go to the dentist.
I floss. I just like twice a day seems insane to me.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you eat 3 or 4 times a day.
Yeah, I
You
guess
want to
that's
get the
true.
food out of there.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
So I did that, and then yesterday it was 45 degrees out.
It was so nice.
So I decided, because I'm that crazy local person, that once it was up to 45, it was time to go for an outdoor run.
Okay.
And so, Jonathan, do you have the little clip of the bay? Like I sent Jonathan a little. It's a 13-second video. When can they hear us again? After
Now.
this.
Yeah.
Look at that! Look at that! Isn't that stunning?
That is really stunning. Gorge. Was that early in the morning?
That was yesterday around 2. And so I ran all the way out to the sandcastle and back. That's my 5K route. And I stopped at that little step thing, you know, right in front of the Harbor Hotel where you can see everywhere. That's where I took that little video.
gorgeous.
It's stunning. It was so beautiful yesterday. 45 feels warm here now.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I
Did
had
you see
to,
any crazies in shorts? Were you wearing shorts?
I was a crazy in shorts.
Yeah, yeah.
And then because somebody called me that I had to talk to, I had to like walk home the rest of the way in shorts on the phone and looked even crazier.
Yeah, because if you're running and they're like, okay, he's a crazy person, but he's running, it's warm.
Yeah.
But just walking, that's too much.
Walking in shorts on the phone in 45-degree weather, but I didn't even feel cold. I was like, this is actually not that bad.
Yeah, I took advantage of the weather on Thursday, and me and a friend kind of did the whole Commercial Street walk.
I saw you.
Oh yeah,
Didn't
I
I?
did see you. Yeah.
Me and a friend. You and Joel.
Yeah, me and Joel went for a little walk. It was cute.
You went all the way to the breakwater?
No. We stopped, but we kind of went the other way. We went all the way to like the split, the Bradford Commercial Split. Yeah, and then kind of just back into town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
But it was nice like seeing, because in the winter you kind of don't get on Commercial Street a lot, or as much as you do in the summer where you spend like every day on it.
Oh, see, I'm the opposite. I don't take commercial during the summer.
But you're like on it when you do stuff, right?
I don't do stuff. I go to work on Bradford, and then I come home and I stay at my house.
That's a lie. That's a lie.
Unless you're talking, well, this year there wasn't anything to do. So like if normally we'd be going to Velvet on Mondays and we'd be going to Fag Bash on Wednesdays, but there wasn't those things. So
That's true.
I took Bradford to work and then I went home. Also, I would not normally wear a hat during this show. It's just, I trimmed my beard like a lot and didn't have a haircut to match it. So this is the new beard and this is the old hair.
No, I feel the same way. Like when I trim my beard but don't have a haircut, I feel like I look like a poof ball.
I'm like, why did I do that? I should have called Joey.
Yeah.
Joey, I'm coming to see you in a couple of days.
Perfect. I just have a standing every 2-week haircut appointment.
You with Dave?
Yeah.
Yeah. How's Dave?
It's good.
Yeah. Incendiary.
Always. But I mean, I'm the same way, so, you know.
Oh, I bet you guys have a lot to talk about every
Oh,
week.
we do.
Yeah.
I feel like there's sometimes we were like, see you next time. But I love him. Yeah.
Whenever I see Dave in the odd time that I have to go to him instead of Joey, it's at like 10 in the morning and I'm just kind of sitting there and he's like, you know, when I come to the bar, you're really chatty. Like, why are you being so quiet? How come you're not saying anything? You know, 10 o'clock's really not that early. And I was like, Dave, if you work until 1 in the morning, 10 o'clock is early. And he goes, I never thought about it like that.
I always pose that. People are
That's
like,
early.
it's 8 o'clock. Like, that's not early to like meet and do something. I'm like, I get to work at 1 in the morning. You get to work at 5. That's like you meeting someone at 2:30 in the morning.
Thank you for putting it that way.
Right.
Dave, 10 o'clock is early. Dave's not watching this, but Dave, if you're watching this, it's early.
Everyone's living their own life.
Yeah, early is different for everyone. Perspective.
But I love how there's like a morality attached to like being awake at 6 a.m.
I'm a morning
I'm
person.
such a good person. I was awake at 6 a.m. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I've been up till 6.
Were you like writing letters for Amnesty International at 6 a.m.? I don't think so.
What else did you do this week?
We did trivia. That was a lot of fun. Speaking of trivia, we don't know when it's going to change for us here because there are local guidelines that overrule statewide guidelines. But the governor did for it's like good news. That's also bad news, depending on how you look at it, because we'll only know if it was good news or bad news in hindsight.
Yeah.
He allowed for indoor entertainment in restaurants, music, entertainment. This already happened once in the fall, and Provincetown decided to stick with their local guidelines. I think mostly because Provincetown is a town that's entirely built around performance, more so than other places. I have my own opinion about whether we should. I understand.
What is your? This is your show. Tell us your opinion.
I completely understand where they're coming from, but I do think it seems a little like punitive.
To not let us do what the rest of the state is doing?
Yes, but also it's like there's been a lot of studies that say like singing doesn't spread it any more than talking, things like that. And also like restaurants specifically go so above and beyond to keep their places of business clean and I don't know. This is my personal opinion.
It does seem like town is not going to immediately go with the governor's order. We're not going to have indoor entertainment on Monday, I don't think.
Yeah, I think it's on the docket to discuss next week.
Yeah, but how exciting that very soon there will be coffee house at the Muse again inside, but also with capacity limitations.
Right, there's capacity limitations. I just think like this is me being the main character of my own story and only thinking of myself. But when I compare like me and Bob being in-house for trivia, which we're not going to do obviously until local guidelines allow us to, but I don't understand how me and Bob being in the corner asking trivia questions into a microphone is less safe than, because they're allowing music venues to be open at 50% capacity. So like the House of Blues could have 1,000 people in it.
Only 500. 500 is the max for any indoor venue.
500 is the max? That's still a lot of people in a room.
Not at the House of Blues though.
Yeah, it is. You think everyone's going to be like spaced out, standing on little dots on the floor? No, like, they're not.
Well, you know what I did wonder?
It's hard to draw those lines.
Totally.
So I understand kind of just blanket no. I understand it all. I agree with it, but I'm thinking of myself.
I know, but it's like they also were like, you know, this means stadiums, baseball, fields, all sorts of things like that. But then they said it was only going to be 12% capacity.
Right.
In a stadium. And so I had tickets to Fenway Park last summer, and they're being honored this summer, but if they're only letting 12% of the people in, which 88% of the people don't get to go? Like, my ticket is still valid. Am I one of the 12%?
Right.
Like, how do they decide that?
Maybe like feats of strength.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like what?
Like you have to pick something up that's really heavy.
Pushing that giant wheel?
Yeah.
Oh. I'm definitely not going to get to go to Fenway Park. But that's not till August. Maybe by then it'll be more than 12%.
Yeah, and they might have to honor that for years to come to get everyone in.
Man, Lady Gaga's going to have to be at Fenway Park 15 days in a row. Just so all the people that had tickets to it can go.
Can you imagine seeing Lady Gaga at 12% capacity? It's like you and 200 people.
Kind of cool. First of all, I'm mad at Lady Gaga right now. We have to bring this up.
We haven't heard an official statement from her. It's like,
Yes, we have.
Let's just talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
So yesterday morning, Lady Gaga's dog walker was walking her 3 French bulldogs.
Right.
And he was attacked. He was shot 4 times in the chest, and 2 out of 3 of the dogs were stolen.
One was recovered by police. The person was shot 4 times in the chest. This person almost died walking her dogs. And the next thing she said was $500,000 reward to return my 2 dogs, no questions asked.
I'm like, maybe ask them if they murdered a person.
Also, like, any amount to identify the people that shot my dog walker.
Right.
Like, where's that statement?
Yeah, but there hasn't been a statement. It's like TMZ is reporting that Lady Gaga said that. You know what I mean? And like, are we trusting TMZ?
Yes, we always have.
I know.
But honestly, I feel bad for that guy because everybody's like, oh no, the dogs, oh that's so terrible. People are stealing French bulldogs. They're expensive. People are stealing them and reselling them. And I have a feeling that these people knew those were her dogs because they have their own Instagram account. Maybe don't put your dog on Instagram by itself. Like, this is my dog's Instagram account.
Right.
That dog is famous. Somebody's going to kidnap it and ask for $500,000.
I don't know if it was because they were Lady Gaga's dogs or if they were just French bulldogs, which are expensive and you can sell them for a lot of money.
This also happened one street over from where I used to live in LA.
No way.
Like my very first apartment in Los Angeles was in Curson. This was on Sierra Bonita. And I was texting my friends who we all lived in the same building. I was like, you guys, what's going on in the old hood? And they were like, we've all moved to Studio City. Nobody lives there anymore. It's so dangerous. They were like, it's burnt down.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Oh, wow.
Our neighborhood is like totally like burnt to the ground. You're afraid to walk around. And I'm like, in Hollywood?
Wow.
What's going on, Los Angeles?
Right. But we hope that everything gets sorted out in all that.
Yeah, I mean, at least he made it. Like the dog walker's alive. But also, let's offer a reward to find the people that shot this guy.
Right. Also, like rescue dogs.
I mean, I hope the dogs come back too, but priorities, people. Gaga, if you're out there, if you're in town shooting American Horror Story, we'd love to have you on the show to talk about this.
Oh, God. Another thing I did that was really fun this week, this past Wednesday was the first ramen pop-up. And I kind of got to come in and have the little VIP treatment. They made me a couple of ramens to taste. But I did put together a little video of it. We can play that now.
Good morning, everyone. It is Wednesday night. We are here at the Provincetown Brewing Company. Tonight is the first night of the ramen pop-up by Chef Liam, and we are getting the VIP treatment. We are going to show you a couple of the offerings today, and we are going to get a little taste. This is going to be running every Wednesday night through the end of April. It's all pre-orders. You pre-order, and then you come and pick it up. It's all contactless. Just hand off your ramen, and then you get to take some delicious ramen home. Awesome. Let's head on in.
Okay, so this is the meat eater option. It is a rich chicken broth with organic blue-footed chickens, and that is actually topped with some really nice slow roasted pork belly. It's a special type of pork belly. It's called Duroc pork belly. It's a little less fatty, but you still get all that delicious flavor. So this is the vegetarian option. It is a farm-stamped butternut squash and organic white miso broth. And that is topped with organic Coastal Farms oyster mushrooms. There's jalapenos, bean sprouts, egg on top. It's really delicious.
Everything was so delicious. Both ramens were amazing.
You tried two?
Yeah, there's a vegetarian option and also a meaty option. I don't know if they're going to change week to week, but you can go online right now to provincetownbrewingco.com and pre-order for this coming Wednesday. This past Wednesday, they did sold out. They only planned for 60 orders, and it sold out pretty early. I think the entire day before.
He made 60 total. Is he going to do more this week?
I don't know. I think
Same amount, so you guys better call and place your order.
But like, because it was so, the reason it was so amazing is because the noodles are all handmade.
Oh.
It's made with such love and care. I think to do more than 60 would be kind of outrageous.
Yeah.
Like, I just think that would be so much work.
How many people does he have working with him for it?
There were him and two others in the kitchen this past week. I think they might get another person just to make it a little less stressful. But it was really cute. Everyone arrived, waited on the patio, social distance, and then they kind of handed off orders because everything was all prepaid.
Nice.
And it was delicious.
And you couldn't eat it here. You have to take it with you?
No, I was allowed.
Well,
but,
yeah, you're special.
yeah, I was tucked away in the corner.
But this is 3 white people making ramen noodles by hand.
And it's really good.
Because as half of the total 1 Asian person total, if you add up all of the half Asian people in town, there is 1 Asian person in town.
That's not right.
As half of that, I'm picky about ramen and pho and stuff like that. And I find that when white people make pho, they pho kit up.
As a white person, it was really delicious.
Good. I can't wait to try it.
Yeah, but if you want to grab some this Wednesday, jump on the website right now and pre-order. And just stay tuned. It's going to run through the end of April, so there's plenty of time.
You know that I am here to represent the Asian experience in Provincetown, though, right?
How's your Asian experience in Providence?
If anybody is curious about it, they can call me, and I can fill them in on it. Oh, you know what?
What?
I don't know why I'm on fire. I think it's this ginger ale. I'm having ginger brew this morning because I woke up with a rumble in my tummy, you guys, and this is really doing the trick.
Good.
It's so good. You're only having water, no coffee or anything.
No,
huh?
I have. I think I have to reevaluate my relationship with coffee.
Why?
It's too much.
Your relationship with coffee or
Yeah.
coffee itself?
I drink too much coffee.
Did you have some this morning?
I did. I'm going to reevaluate, I think, after this weekend.
You just have to, like everything, in moderation.
I'm not good at moderation.
You're not?
No.
Huh. You don't seem like somebody that overdoes things often. I've seen you overdo things, but you don't do it often.
But I'm that person where I'm going to drink 2 pots of coffee or none.
That is a problem.
So I think what I'm going to do is do like a hard stop, go cold turkey, let my body reset, because I'm not doing anything, so I can have a headache on the couch all day.
For an extra hour.
For an extra hour. And then let my body reset and then start, and then maybe have like a regular cup of coffee.
That sounds like a really good idea.
Yeah, just like normal strength. This is what I do now. I have one of those stovetop espresso makers that makes 8 shots of espresso, and I literally just pour that into a coffee cup, top it with some cream, and call it a cup of coffee.
That is too much. You're going to give yourself an ulcer.
I know.
Boy.
Yeah, so I'm going to take a little break.
You have plans this weekend, you said, right?
Yeah, I'm just getting out of town for a bit.
For a birthday.
Yeah, it's going to be cute.
Whose birthday?
My friend Alicia's.
When is her birthday?
The 28th.
Call her right now. We have to do a birthday call.
She's working.
Oh. Yeah. Where in Vermont?
No idea.
No?
I put it in my Waze, and I'm just going to go.
Good.
Yeah.
That sounds fun.
I haven't left town, I think, since last February.
Really?
Yeah.
But like Hyannis you've been to.
Yeah. You got to go to Target. Let's play. So we have 2 performances of Thirsties today. We're going to play one now, and then we'll be back with our interview, and then we're going to end the show with another Thirsty performance.
Great.
But let's play one of Thirsty's performances now, and then stay tuned for her interview later.
Put on my blue suede shoes, board in a plane, touchdown in the land of the Delta blues, middle of the pouring rain. WC Happy, would you look down over me? Yeah, I got a first class ticket, but as blue as a girl can be when I'm walking in Memphis. Walking with my feet 10 feet off the wheel, walking in Memphis. Do I really feel the way I feel? So the goals of Elvis, none you never knew. Followed them up to the gates of Graceland. I watched him walk right through. Security, they did not see him. They just hobbled around until, and there's a pretty little thing waiting for the king down in the jungle room. Where we're walking in Memphis, walking with my feet 10 feet off the field, walking in Memphis. But do I really feel the way I feel? They got catfish on the table. They got guns for land. Yeah, Reverend Green, be glad to see you when you haven't got a prayer. But boy, you got a prayer in Memphis. Now Marky plays piano every Friday at the Hollywood, and they ask me down to wake up Provincetown and ask me if I would do a little number, and I sing with all my might. He said, "Tell me, are you a Christian child?" And I said, "Man, I am tonight." Walking in Memphis, walking with my feet 10 feet off the wheel, walking in Memphis. Well, do I really feel the way I feel? I'm walking in Memphis. I'm walking with my feet 10 feet off the wheel. I'm walking in Memphis. Do I really feel the way I feel? middle of the pouring rain.
That was, I love them.
I love that song. I love Thirsty.
They sound so good together.
Yeah.
And this is, I want to say, a new working relationship. They haven't done a two-person show together before.
No. I think it's going to be great.
It is going to be great.
In the next performance, Mark gets to sing a little, and it's beautiful, and they work so well together.
Yeah, stay tuned. You're going to get to hear our interview with Thirsty.
Yeah.
But before that,
Did you hear about Potato Head?
Mr. Potato Head?
No.
Mrs. Potato Head?
No.
Ms. Potato Head?
Neither.
MX?
D, E, none of the above.
They Potato Head?
Yes. Hasbro announced that moving forward, Potato Head is just going to be, it's going to be like a non-gendered toy.
Wait, it's going to come with male and female like hair and stuff?
Yeah, I think
That's fun.
Yeah, this is a head. They're releasing a new like kind of family potato head kit that comes with like a little potato and then two big potatoes, and then with a bunch of accessories. Then you can accessorize them all. And they wanted to leave options open to represent all families, so you could design your family as having two mothers, two fathers.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
go
really
ahead,
cute.
Hasbro. Hasbro?
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, I think it's, yeah. I mean, I was a very effeminate little boy.
You?
Yes, like very. I like if you always saw me, I'd either have like a pink baseball hat on or like a flower tucked behind my ear. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like it was weird having like so much like gender thrown at you.
That's all they do when you're little.
Yeah. So I think that's great that little kids who are not typical. That's what I wasn't typical, so that's why I'm saying that. Just get to like live a little more relaxed in that and not have so many expectations put upon them.
I don't know how I missed that news story.
Yeah.
Probably because I was busy reading the signs on Marjorie Taylor Greene's office.
That's,
Trust the science, you guys. Mr. Potato Head is a man, and Mrs. Potato Head is a woman. Trust the science.
Yeah.
Isn't that her whole stance?
God made potato heads that way.
Now she wants to trust science.
Right. That's a little bit of good news for trans people and non-gender binary people, but this week especially, it was a tough week to be a trans person living in America. Every time you turned on the TV, there was Marjorie Taylor Greene being a fucking crazy person. Her neighbor across the hall for offices, Representative Marie Newton, put up a trans flag outside of her office in support of her trans daughter, and Marjorie Taylor Greene to, retaliate. What else could it be?
Yeah.
Posted a sign that said there are two genders, male and female, trust the science. There's actually very expansive amounts of science that supports that that's not the case. So like that's an example of, I just can't imagine turning on the TV and having your identity and your existence debated in our government.
It happens all the time. It used to happen to us.
Right. But this week especially,
In some
'cause-
circles, it still does.
Still is.
Yeah. It's like shock therapy for you. Gay's not a thing.
right.
It's just a phase you're going through.
They were also confirming Rachel Levine in the Senate, and Rand Paul asked like a really fucked up questioning line where he basically, rather than asking her expertise and trying to decide whether she's the right person for the job, he decided to ask this kind of crazy question about gender confirmation surgery on minors, which in the medical community is the standard of practice is to not do that until someone is 18. They do allow for hormone therapy before that, but I don't know. She gave a really incredible answer and was like, I would love, if I'm confirmed for this position, I would love to educate you. There's expansive amounts of research and knowledge when it comes to trans issues and trans medical issues. I look forward to educating you on this.
That person is so patient and thoughtful and wanted to throw something at him.
Yeah.
Like, I just hear the name Rand Paul and Marjorie Taylor Greene, and as much as I don't want to give these people any more airtime than they're already getting, because it gives me a headache. It's infuriating.
Yeah.
These people are very infuriating. It's important to talk about what they're doing to people and how. I don't understand how you could treat somebody who you work across the hall from like that, first
Right.
of all. Like, there used to be sort of like a standard for like how people act at work.
That kind of went away, and I think it was in 2016 when that went away.
That's what a coincidence.
Yeah,
I think
how
that's when
weird.
it went away too.
Yeah.
You know what I also was reading up about as a self-proclaimed half Asian person, which is what he just called me, self-proclaimed.
I called you that off the air.
Was no, like all of the hate crimes that are rising on Asian Americans all over the country, specifically San Francisco and New York, tenfold in New York from year over year. Asian people being targeted because of people calling the virus the Kung flu and the China virus and all this other racist horse shit.
You mean the president of the United States for the last 4 years?
That person, yes.
Right.
I'm just saying, like, it's a hard time out here for a lot of people. Like, so, you know,
Yeah.
it's an ugly world. That's why I'm happy that I live in Provincetown.
Yeah, but it's also important to spread the message and the values that exist within Provincetown to the world. And Provincetown is also not a perfect place.
No place is perfect.
But I think there's more people in this town that strive towards that kind of utopia than most other places in the world.
Agreed.
Of like love and acceptance and safety. I feel like safety is a very big one.
You know what I watched this week? Did you finish it yet?
No, I watched the first
It's a Sin. You guys, if you haven't heard about it, It's a Sin is a 5-part miniseries. It's a co-production between the BBC and HBO. It dropped just a week ago or two maybe, and it's about the AIDS crisis in the early 80s in the UK and how these 3 young men who are all about the age of 18 leave home, meet each other, live together in London, and how they deal with the pandemic as it unfolds in real time. And at the very beginning, of course, people are like, this isn't real, and there's nothing about it in the news, and it's impossible to find information about it. And, you know, we're fortunate that we're of an age group where, you know, I was a kid in the 90s. My friends weren't dying left and right. And by the time the early 2000s rolled around, we kind of knew as much about HIV as we could and how to stay safe. And, you know, people weren't dropping like flies as frequently as the previous 2 decades. But this show is so completely heartbreaking.
I watched the first episode, and I think it's going to be a little too much to binge like that for me. I know you watched it very quickly, but I think I'm going to need some time between episodes, because the first episode, it kind of just, like you said, it lightly touches upon the topic of like everyone just kind of becoming aware of it, kind of hearing about it, and the episode ends with all the main characters just kind of like being so happy and like talking about what their life is going to be like, and I was just like,
Oh, you're killing me.
Right? I was just like, fuck, this
I
is
watched
gonna be really
3 the
hard.
first night and the last 2 the next day, so I did do it in 2 days, and it's a lot. But you know, these are stories that need to be told because you have a lot of young people. There are actors in the show who are in their early to mid 20s who are like, until I did research for this role, I had no idea about any of this.
Right.
Like, you know, in this day and age of prep, people don't think about it as much. And it was an entire generation of gay men completely wiped out.
Which is a huge blessing to not have to be terrified of it. It's a huge blessing for the time in which we live in, but I do think it's important to remember.
Absolutely. I mean, recognize your privilege. That is a privilege to be able to live not in fear and be able to fuck whoever you want. Oh, I can't wait for you to get to the end, because I told a friend of mine to watch it, one of my dearest, oldest friends. I was like, you have to watch this show. I haven't cried like this at a TV show in a long time. And of course, he texted me, and he was texting me in real time. He was like, okay, I just finished episode 1 and I haven't cried yet. I don't know what the big deal is. And then an hour later, he goes, oh, I just watched episode 2 and I'm kind of crying a little. And then an hour after that, he was like, I'm sobbing on my couch and I can't stop crying. And then 2 hours later, he goes, I don't know how I've been able to physically cry for this long in a row. And I was like, ha ha!
I just know it's
Told
gonna.
you.
Sometimes I watch things that are really sad that like make me sad for like a week, and I know this is gonna be one of them, so I gotta like plan it right.
It's gonna stay with you.
Yeah.
It's great for laying on your couch till 6 p.m.
Crying. Great.
because it's gonna be 6 p.m. now.
Yeah. But definitely give that a watch.
Oh, I also watched Barb and Star go to Vista Del
How was
Mar.
that?
Dumb.
Fun dumb?
Stupid. Listen,
Was it a
I
good
love
watch?
Kristen Wiig. I love her. I think she's one of the top 3 cast members of SNL of all time. Comedic genius.
Who's the other two?
Tina Fey
Sherry O'Terry?
No.
I love Sherry
No,
O'Terry.
Molly Shannon is better than Sherry O'Terry, but I don't think either one of them would. Maya Rudolph, Tina Fey, and Kristen Wiig are my 3 favorite SNL cast members. I, of course, was not alive for the 70s casts and haven't watched a whole lot of that, but this movie is just like, I was expecting, the last thing these 2 women wrote together was Bridesmaids,
Oh, wow.
which
yeah.
is genius, hilarity, funniest movie in the last 10 years. This is the next thing that they wrote together, and I was expecting something sort of rooted in reality. Like Bridesmaids is like about real people.
Yeah.
This was very much in like the Austin Powers realm of SNL humor.
Okay.
So Kristen Wiig is playing this like space villain, and she's playing the human. So it's very Austin Powers-y.
That I've only seen previews, and that is not at all what I thought that was
That's what it's about.
I thought it was like 2 women going on vacation.
But also with space villains, played by Kristen Wiig in like white mime makeup with a really funny looking wig.
Oh my god.
It has its moments, but it's just, when you pay $20 to rent it at home.
$20?
Yeah,
Because it just came out.
Because it just came out and you can only rent it. And of course, I don't know if this is the case with you, but your husband is sitting on the couch going, you know that I get to pick the movie next time, right? Like, I'm going to sit here until the end of this, but like, I probably get to pick the next 3 or 4 things.
Wow.
Because this is so stupid.
But like stupid fun?
Yeah.
Okay.
But stupid, like, just like,
Maybe when I finish It's a Sin, I'll put that on for a light laugh.
That's what I was thinking, because he picked It's a Sin, and then I picked this to try to like bring myself
Yeah.
back. And I just was shaking my head even harder.
Right.
I'm
That
like,
was like we watched the night of the election. We watched Dumb and Dumber,
Thinking it would help.
thinking it would help because it was in that moment where I was like, "Wow, this is not looking good." And like Bob had never seen it before. Me and Jonathan loved the film, and it was literally Jonathan like doom scrolling on his phone, refreshing. I was like, "Jonathan, stop it!" And then me just like having a panic attack while trying to think Dumb and Dumber is funny.
Oh, I will say this about Barb and Star Go to Vista Del Mar, aside from it being a funny title. Jamie Dornan, who was in the 50 Shades movies,
Hot.
so hot, so cute, and they're allowing him to speak in his native accent.
Where's he from?
I don't know if he's Irish or Scottish. He's from that part of the world. And there's, he has his shirt off. And I never saw any of those 50 Shades movies. And I remember thinking, a guy being hot is not a good enough reason for me to spend $20 to go to the movies.
Yeah.
It is almost a good enough reason to spend $20 to stay at home and watch a movie.
And it's Kristen Wiig.
And it's Kristen Wiig.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but if I, on a 4-star scale, 2.5.
Yeah. But was it like a fun watch? Like, were you?
It's also one of those things where, like, if you're with somebody who's not enjoying it,
Oh yeah.
that's amplified.
Yeah.
Because that's half the room. That's
Totally.
half the energy in the room is you don't get to pick the movie again.
It's like when I watched Wonder Woman with Benji. I like really wanted to like it, and Benji was like, "This is crazy. This is stupid."
That's an
And
even
then
worse Kristen Wiig
halfway
movie.
through the movie, I was like, "Okay, you're right."
Did you turn it off?
No, we watched it.
okay.
We like laughed at it, and there was like explosions and fight scenes, and it was fun.
I just want better from and for her because I think she's so smart and so funny and so talented. So the fact that Wonder Woman and this were her last 2 movies,
Right.
Kristen Wiig, you can do a lot better than this.
Well, she did well. She was good in Wonder Woman.
Mark just gasped
Mark
audibly
disagrees.
behind the camera,
I don't know.
vehemently and vocally, shaking his head so hard that I think his glasses are going to fly off his face. No. Bad. Bad, Harry. Bad.
An exciting local news story.
Ooh.
This past week, there were interviews for the new town manager, and they selected a new town manager. As of yesterday, around 5 o'clock, they did announce that they chose Alex Morse.
A unanimous 5-0 vote by the Board of Select. Congratulations, Mr. Alex Morse, on your new gig. He is currently still the mayor of Holyoke.
Yes, he's the mayor of Holyoke. He became the youngest mayor of Holyoke when he was 22. He became mayor. He's been doing it for about 10 years.
One of the youngest mayors of anywhere ever.
Yeah.
And probably the first like openly gay mayor of Holyoke as well, right?
Yeah.
I would say.
He ran for a seat in Congress this past election cycle, didn't win. That was kind of embroiled in scandal.
Do you want to give them a brief recap? Because we actually did talk
covered it a
about
lot.
this on the show.
He had accusations of kind of like, I guess, using his position of authority to date people and stuff. It did come out that it was kind of fabricated and sensationalized by the College Democrats and also the Democratic Party of Massachusetts. I think there was just like a lot of bad actors within it. And when it all came down to it, there was kind of the general consensus that he did nothing wrong. Yeah, but we're excited to have him here. I'm excited to have him.
I have really high hopes for him.
Yeah.
Anybody that immediately out of college wants to be the mayor of their hometown at 22 and is the mayor of where they grew up for 10 years and then wants to manage another small town, I think his heart is in the right place, his brain is in the right place. I have high hopes for him. This can be, he's going to face some challenges when he gets to town.
As people were talking about it, everyone's like, I hope that this person has like
Thick skin.
Yeah, and I'm like, why?
You know how that we treat our elected officials here, don't you?
Why do we do that?
Well, when I say we, I don't mean me, because I'm really nice to all the town managers. I used to serve David Panagore at Cafe Heaven. And I was really nice about it. But I think the town is just, everybody has, in a town this small, everybody's voice and opinion is amplified.
Right.
So every single person really gets to be heard. And if you disagree with what the town manager or the Board of Select are doing, you shout about it online, you shout about it in the street, and people do hear you.
Right.
So, and it's probably difficult to find a coalition of a lot of people agreeing on stuff here. Everybody seems to have their own set of opinions.
Oh, yeah.
You among them. Well, so tell me, why do you think the town might be hard on him?
I mean, like you said, I feel like a lot of people have their own opinions. I think he's gonna come from a perspective. He's a young person. He's a queer person. I don't think either of those things necessarily affected why he got picked. He has 10 years of managing a small town, so that's great. But I do think my own personal experience in just business interactions around town is that people are really hard on young people in this town.
I think that's bullshit. I think that is complete and utter bullshit.
I think an example of me saying this is my personal experience and then having old people tell me that that's bullshit is an exact example of that.
I am an old person now. You're a baby. Millennials, wah, the town's hard on me.
No, I mean,
life is hard. Wherever you go, you have to make your own way.
Sure. But I saw how I get interacted with and then how those same people interact with other people.
What did you think your part in all of that was? Do you think about how you come across or just how people talk to you?
I'm speaking in specifically business relationships, and I do feel like I'm very professional when it comes to business.
I work with you, and I have since the moment you got to town, and I will say that is not always the case. We could talk about something else if you want.
Sure.
Or we can keep talking about this.
I'd rather not. I don't need to be gaslit on my own show.
Gaslit. Why did they teach these people this word?
Let's do Thirsty's interview.
Okay.
Yeah. Take it away.
Good morning, everybody. We are here in the Provincetown Brewing Company tap room with the legendary, death-defying icon herself, Thirsty Burlington. Thirsty, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
We're so excited that you survived both lightning strikes.
Thank you. I know nothing.
That's the only lasting effect. We know you're very busy. Thank you for making some time.
Very busy. None of us are busy.
Well, what have you been doing?
I've rearranged my bedroom 18 times. So I moved in April, in the middle of the shitstorm. So first of all, we had to have movers come in with hazmat suits and move all my shit in. And I decided to get a canopy bed, cute in theory. But there's only enough room for the bed. So then it needs curtains, so I've been making curtains for 8 months. Now it looks like I live inside Jeannie's bedroom. You know, this bottle, there's draperies everywhere. I really feel like I'm, I don't know.
Sounds
amazing.
Cool. Can you tell us a little bit about how you got to Provincetown? When did you first get here?
I was trying to think of that. I'm thinking 26 years ago. I came here to die, just wouldn't do it. No, I was living in Boston forever, and then me and my boyfriend at the time, Dwayne, who's no longer with us, moved to P-Town, I think 92, 96, last week, I don't remember. I drink a lot.
Were you already thirsty at that point?
Yeah, but I was going down quick.
What do you mean?
Well, I don't know, in the 90s, you know, the waif model was really hot, and I was super skinny, like 90 pounds. So I started like entering pageants and stuff, and I had to come up with a name. And my friend said, "Oh, you kind of look like Thirsty Burlington. Why don't you be like Thirsty Burlington?" And I said, "Well, that works." So there was not a lot of thought that went into it. So then I moved to P-Town and started doing a show at what is now the Underground, which used to be Chasers, and before that I forget what it was, but it flooded like every night. So there was like a sea of water, and like I got pneumonia like 86 times that summer. And then I just kept bouncing from like the Vixen to the Crown to the A House. So I've been everywhere.
The Crown pre-Rick Murray?
Maybe.
You've been here a long time.
Yeah, I've been here a long time.
Well, you just announced you're having a weekly show this coming summer at the Crown.
Every Monday at 7:30, me and Mark Meehan are going to do a share show.
Is there a title for it?
Let's think of one now. Okay. I think it's one night only with Thirsty Burlington as share. But it's going to be great because you have to really think about shows in a different way when you're outside. Because when you're inside, I can have like headdresses and sparkly things and lighting cues and techniques and shit. But when you're outside, I just feel like it needs to be a little bit more loose. So it's going to be, I'm going to do some like songs like from the 80s that Cher's covered that I've never done.
Such as?
Well, I don't want to tell you.
No?
To be seen.
Well, how did you conceive of this show with Mark?
I did a show, I think in the fall, one night, and I had put on about 25 pounds during the pandemic. So the turn back time outfit wasn't going to really work. So now I've been really skinny all my life, like anorexic skinny. So to put on weight just in like this area, it's like I look like a Mr. Potato Head. It was not cute. So like I had to wear like 3 girdles. In my mind, I was like, I'm just gonna wear 2 girdles and sausage myself in and then push myself out on stage. And I couldn't breathe, and I was like, my friend Bang was dressing me, I was like, I really can't breathe. So then I had to like sing and not breathe.
That's tough.
So it was weird. But I was like, oh, I'd like to breathe, and it was really kind of beachy and flowy out there. So what was the question?
How you and Mark conceived of your show together?
Well, Mark had no input.
It wasn't allowed.
No, he, did you have any input?
Well, just maybe a new song.
Yeah.
That's about
Oh, he had some ideas.
Come on, tell me.
Black Hole Sun.
That would be great.
I was kind of into it.
You're
not
I'm into it.
I don't know. You know, I'm going to do a lot of covers, but I still have to stay in the pocket of Cher because people want to see me do Cher. So if I do all covers, they're going to be disappointed. So it's going to be a sprinkle of like really crazy cover tunes with the Gypsies, Tramps, and Thieves and all the stuff sprinkled in. So everyone gets what they want. I don't want to disappoint anyone.
Are we getting a Thirsty does Cher does ABBA?
I'm going to do 2 ABBA songs. I was going to do Chiquitita in Spanish.
I love that.
Yeah. Well, it's,
The night I
I
come,
don't
you'll
speak
have to pull
Spanish.
it out. Right.
So I got the first part right. So I might do half and half. It's a lot of work. I might just stay home.
So you have your show coming up this coming season.
Yep.
This last season, you only made it on the stage once, but you had the
Once.
show already. You've done a weekly show at the Crown before, the summer before,
Yeah.
correct? Are you excited to be back in the weekly show grind?
Yeah, totally.
So you were in Puerto Vallarta when all of it happened.
Yeah, when the shit hit the fan.
What was that like?
I was performing in Encanto in Puerto Vallarta, and now in January I had pneumonia here. So then I was fine, and then I flew to Puerto Vallarta and started my show, and then I started to get sick, and it was all respiratory, and I couldn't taste, so of course I think I had COVID, so I went to the doctor, and you know, the doctor loves me in Puerto Vallarta.
You go there every winter, right?
I go there, I've been there for like 7 years now.
So you have a relationship with the town and...
Yeah. So I did the show until I couldn't, and then I was like, even the doctors at home were like, you should probably come home. So in order to change my flight, you have to be really sick. So I wasn't that sick, but you have to pretend you're really sick. So the doctor at the clinic in Puerto Vallarta was like, how many days are you in the hospital? Like, she just was making this up for Delta. So she was like, 7 days on oxygen, very, very sick.
Oh my God.
And so I got home and started making curtains.
And that was April.
That was February.
February. So you've been here a year straight, barely leaving the house making curtains.
Yeah. I'd leave the house like maybe once a week with my little pod, my pod people.
What about bingo and tiki?
Bingo. So there was no bingo last year, which sucked. And then I tried to do it in a few different places this year, and you really can't do indoor entertainment. So I decided to do virtual bingo, and I had help with my friend Anthony and Bang. But it's still not the same. I mean, Tiki's crazy, and she likes to feed off people, and she wants you to swear at her. Like, she's just a mess. So in order to like do it virtually, had to I'm just really dyslexic, so like all of this freaks me out. Like, and I was trying to they would yell at me because I wasn't getting it quick enough, and I was like, hold on. It's like you see green, my brain sees green, and then my mouth sees orange. Like, there's something that is confused in my head. So it took me a minute, but we had like 30 people playing, and I made some money.
That's great.
It was cute. I'll do it again, like next month.
Once a month?
Yeah.
Look forward to it.
When was Tiki born?
Tiki was born. She was born in Boca Raton, Florida. Tiki was born about 15 years ago. Do you remember Mikey Pickens from the A House? God bless him. We were just trying to think of something to do during the winter so we wouldn't all throw ourselves off the monument. So I said, let's play bingo or something. I'll dress up like an old Jewish woman and I'll tell dirty jokes and we'll just get people in, and it kind of took off.
I love that you have like two personas. You're like Thirsty in
I
the
have
summer and Tiki in the winter.
I have a lot of people inside me.
The most notable has got to be Cher, though, right?
Well, of course!
You've been doing her since the beginning?
So, when I was in high school, we went to go see Mask, the movie Mask Cher. And I've always mimicked people's voices since day one. So I came out of the theater and I said, Rocky, don't do this to me, make yourself well. And my friend was like, wow, you really sounded like Cher. You should enter a contest in Provincetown. Michael Lucier is doing a lip sync contest at the Pied Piper. Enter. So I did, and I won, and the rest is history.
Cute. Have you ever met Cher?
A few times. She wrote a book once, and I at Tower Records, which is no longer there. And I got in line, and I had a picture of me, and so me and Cher share the same birthday.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
how
we're both dyslexic,
serendipitous.
both Tauruses, both May 20th, 20 years apart. And she's tiny. I thought she was like 9 feet tall. Her hands are like tiny little doll hands. So it's like, hi, I impersonate you, and this is me, and we have the same birthday, and we're both dyslexic. She's like, security! No, she didn't do it. But, so then, when I go see her in concert, I usually don't dress up like her because who wants to pull focus?
You do.
I do. So this is when she was blonde Cher, and my stomach was like ripped, and I was in great shape. She was not pleased. So, I was in the balcony seats, all dolled up for nothing. And they just kept moving me down to the front row. So then our dancers came out and started warming up, and they were like, so then they must have said, Cher, there's some bitch dressed like you in the front row.
And they were like,
I
get
got
her out.
hit with all this light, and then she came out, and she was like, and she gave me the dirtiest look. So I don't think she likes me.
I'm sure she does.
No, she hates.
But didn't she say to you, you do me better than I do me?
She was lying.
I don't
She was
think
like,
so.
yeah, you do me better than I do me. But when we were, they made a film about me a couple years ago. So she has the script, because she was originally supposed to be in the film. We couldn't afford her. But I have a picture of her holding the script. She was like, no.
But you have met Bob Mackey as well.
Bob Mackey's great.
He loves your recreations.
It took a while. When I was working at the PO, and he was into a different chair that was in town until he saw me. So it's like, oh, you've got to see the show. I gave him free tickets, and he was like, wow, this is like, because I'm more of an actor than like a drag. Like, if I do a character, I really try and get in the pocket. So I don't have to like rely on like flicking your hair on the tongue. So I really try and like emulate what she would do. And he was like, you really got her. And it was great to hear it from him because a lot of people blow smoke up your ass. So you don't know if they're just trying to, get in your pants.
Shares your number one. What other impersonations do you love doing?
Judy Garland's kind of my favorite.
Yeah.
Because she's such a mess.
Oh, yeah.
And I can be drunk while I perform. No, actually, you can't be drunk when you play drunk. Because you really have to pay attention to what you're doing.
Yeah.
She's a train wreck. I mean, I love her, but
I've seen you
she's
do
one of my
Michael
favorites.
Jackson. Too.
Michael Jackson was great before the hip surgeries.
Right.
So I've had both hips, knee, ankle, shoulder replaced.
How are you
Shoulders
feeling?
these days.
And then I got struck by lightning twice! I'm fine. So, dancing's not the best. I mean, I used to love my makeup from Michael was great.
What's Mark like to work with?
Mark, me and Mark is my buddy. Mark really gets me. It's really crazy. Like, we both like the Lawrence Welk show, which is we like random things. Donnie and Marie, like he gets me. Like, I'm secretly like a rock and roller.
That's what he's trying to get you like on.
Rock and roll. How it goes.
Yeah.
Well, he was like, oh, this sounds like Cher. And then my agent was like, no!
So when is opening night of the show?
I think I opened Memorial Day.
Memorial Day at 7:30
7:30.
at the Crown, poolside.
Poolside.
And that'll run through Labor Day?
Yep.
Cute. Can't wait.
Yeah, I remember the last summer that you had a show, I know that every single one sold out.
It did.
And then that,
And
was that the same year you had that Christmas
cancel
show?
once. I was trying to repair my reputation.
I think good job, well done.
Thank you.
That Christmas show was phenomenal. And I'm not just trying to get in your pants.
What Christmas show?
You did a holiday, you did a Thirsty Holiday show. Wasn't it the same?
Before the pandemic?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, that was fun.
that was great.
It's all a blur. I think rent the movie.
Rent the movie. You can catch the movie Thirsty on Amazon Prime too,
Okay.
right?
I get 3 cents every time you rent it. Cha-ching.
I'll rent it 33 times, so you get a whole dollar.
Just give her about.
Just give me $1.
And you are now we're gonna show a couple of performances of you
Yeah.
and Mark together. Thank you so
I'm going
much.
to do my favorite song.
Wait, what is your favorite Cher song?
Favorite Cher song is Walking in Memphis. Then my second favorite song is... Wait, I forgot the name of
The
it.
Peter Cetera song.
Yeah, what's it called?
After All.
After All.
Those are your 2 favorite Cher songs? Those are my
My
2
absolute
favorite Cher
favorite
songs.
song.
I was really, really
What
hoping you
is
would
your
Mark.
favorite Cher song?
In real life?
Yeah.
It's a song called Stars that no one's ever heard of.
What album is it from?
Stars.
When?
It was like in the 70s. You weren't born yet, kid. It's a song about like performers and all the bullshit we all go through. And it was written by Janice Ian. It's really beautiful, and Cher ruins it.
So
I decided to go right there and ruin it too. No, but it's my favorite.
Stars.
Google it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
coming. And
So now am I going to get hit by lightning again?
I sure hope not.
I hope not.
5.
That was so much fun sitting down with Thirsty.
I love you so much, Thirsty. Thank you for coming in. We have one more performance by Mark and Thirsty, so we're gonna say bye to you guys now, right?
Yeah, we're gonna say farewell.
We want to thank our sponsors, Adam Howard, the Artist Blacksmith Studio at 3 Bradford Street. Go check out his work. He's in there almost every day. And of course, as always, be well, where you can get all of your cannabis needs met.
Yeah. While you're there, say hi to Janet, our seamstress.
And Karen Nash, my dear friend.
Oh, yeah, totally. Yeah, thanks for waking up in Provincetown.
Wherever you are.
We are going to close it off with another performance of Thirsty, this one heavily featuring Mark on vocals.
I love this so much. Enjoy, guys.
Well, here we are again. I guess it must be fate. We tried it on our own, but deep inside I know we'd come back to set things straight. And I still remember your kiss was so brand new. Every memory repeats. Every step I take retreats. Every journey always brings me back to you. And after all the stops and starts, we keep coming back to these two hearts, two angels who've been rescued from the fall. Guess it's meant to be forever, you and me. And after all, when love is truly right, this time it's truly right. It lives from year to year, and it changes as it grows, going all the way. But it never disappears. And after all the stops and starts, we keep coming back to these two hearts, two angels who've been rescued from the fall. And after all that we've been through, it all comes down to me and you. I guess it's meant to be forever, you and me. After all, always just beyond my touch. No, I needed you so much. After all, what else is living for? Oh, after all the stops and starts, we keep coming back to these two hearts, two angels who've been rescued from the fall. And after all that we've been through, it all comes down to me and you. I guess it's meant to be forever, you and me. And after all the stops and starts, we keep coming back to these two hearts, two angels who've been rescued from the fall. And after all that we've been through, it all comes down to me and you. I guess it's meant to be.